Hey guys, it's Sujal. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to be going over some key study tips for high schoolers and college students. Now really quick, if you guys are new here, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for all things career and academics. I post 3 times a week on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 3:45 p.m. EST, and I really don't want y'all to miss out on anything. And the motivations for this video come from some of y'all reaching out to me in the comment section of my previous videos requesting that I make a video on this topic. So always let me know if you guys have any other video suggestions and I'll try to make that happen. The thing is, the semester is winding down, finals are coming, and people are getting stressed. So it's important that you instill in good study practices to ensure that you succeed. But the thing is, these tips I present in this video are actually universal, whether we're in final season or not. So these study organizational tips you'll be able to use anytime. And without further ado, let's get into the top 4 study/organizational tips that I have for you guys to succeed. If you find these tips to be valuable and you enjoyed this video, be sure to always hit that like button and let me know in the comment section below. Alright, so for the first tip I have is planning your studying. In college, you need to have some sort of agenda or calendar type thing to be organized. And actually, personally, before college, I was never really the type to have an agenda or a calendar. I never really found the need or really found the use of having one. In high school, it wasn't that intense. I always knew what to do. I kept it all in my head and it was just fine. But with college, organization is key. With everything in college, it's definitely a step above high school with all your classes, assignments, events, so many things to do, so many things to attend, and you need to be able to keep track of it through an agenda or through a calendar type thing. I personally recommend using Google Calendar. That's what I use. That's what I really like to use. And I actually mentioned this in one of my previous videos about how to start your 2020 school year off right. And I'll link that video in the description below. Be sure to check that out after this video because in that, I talk about everything that you should put in your calendar to stay organized to ensure your academic success. But basically, when it comes to studying, you need to be able to set up clearly defined times for you to actually study. Plan out your studying exactly. Don't just say, I have an exam on Friday, so I'm going to study Thursday night. Say, I have an exam on Friday, so I'm going to study Thursday night from 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. And having that clearly defined time helps you avoid procrastination and actually forces you to study during that set time block. Because after that, after the 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., I'm not studying anymore, so I'll be able to relax, I'll be able to have fun. But during 4 p.m. to 6 p.m., I'm going to study, and it'll help you actually stay productive. And when it comes down to this, I recommend setting 2 days or 2 study sessions before any major assessment. Before any major exam or assessment, I like to study once about 2 to 3 days before the actual assessment. And during this first study session, it's an in-depth review of all the topics covered on this exam. Any major holes in my understanding are all cleared up here, and I have a very solid understanding of the material at hand. And as for the second study session, I'll set that up the night before the exam. And during this study session, it's more of revising and practicing material for the exam. I'll do a bunch of practice exams, redo homework assignments, basically anything and everything that I can do to actually practice the material that I may be seeing on my exam tomorrow. Through these 2 study sessions, first I'm able to ensure that I know the material really well, and then just like everyone says, practice makes perfect, I make sure to revise and practice the material, and piecing these 2 together helps ensure success. And also, by starting my studying many nights before with all the concepts and having that in-depth review, after that, if I have any doubts or any questions, I'm able to head into office hours or go talk to teaching assistants to help clear up any questions I may have, any doubts I may have about the material at hand. If I only studied the night before, there just wouldn't be enough time for me to head into office hours or go talk to TA or review even more after that. Also, by studying multiple nights beforehand, this helps improve retention overall. Because there is a big difference between cramming everything the night before and trying to absorb all the material for this exam and studying a couple nights before and solidifying that in-depth knowledge. You're better off retaining the information when you're actually studying for something rather than trying to be a sponge. Also, quick note on organization, make sure to have quick access or reference to each one of your class's syllabus. Because usually at the beginning of the semester, the professor will put down all the due dates and exam dates for this course as a total on the syllabus. And after that, your professor may not remind you when you have something due or when you have an exam coming up. It's not their responsibility anymore, it's on you. So to ensure that you have all your assignments done and stay organized, have a quick reference to the syllabus, and then as you're continually reviewing that, you'll be able to map it out and put it on your calendar and plan for it, study for it, and succeed at it. The next tip I have is be aware of your resources. Whether that's your teaching assistants, professors, office hours, just be aware of it and utilize it to the maximum. Literally every class out there has at least one teaching assistant with office hours. These are set times for you guys to ask any questions that you have conceptually or about any assignment. I personally am a TA, a teaching assistant at Georgia Tech. And I can tell you firsthand that students who come to office hours and seek help often do better on projects and exams, so make sure to use them. Like I said before in my organization tip, if you start studying 2 or 3 nights before your exam and you have any questions or doubts, you can head into a TA's office hours the next day. Also, if you're able to, try going to your professor for help through the professor's office hours. By going to their office hours and asking them questions, not only are they an excellent resource to answer your questions, but also you end up establishing a great connection with them, and that's very important. Because these are the people who, if you need a letter of recommendation or referral, or like internal link to helping you do research, these are the people that help you get there. So having that connection with your professors are very important, especially in classes where you have hundreds of people in a large lecture hall that your professor may not even end up knowing who you are. So go to their office hours, introduce yourself, set up that connection, ask your question, and then move on from there. Now for the third tip. Keep track, continuously monitor, and calculate your grades. I mean, this is pretty simple. You need to know what you have in a class with all the assignments being graded and put in so that you know how much to worry about and how much you need to aim for and averaging for the rest of the semester with the assignments to come. For example, if your goal in a class is to get an A at the end of the semester, and you've been pulling off with high A's on your first couple of exams and assignments, then you can kind of chill out a little bit, get lower A's or get higher B's because you worked hard earlier on in the semester, and then at the end, you know what you need to average to get an A. A resource I like to use that I recommend you guys to use is thegradecalculator.com. What's really nice about this website is you're able to input all your grades for each assignment and put in the exact weightage that they have on the impact of your final grade, and then you're able to get a specific number that you need to average for the rest of the semester based off the weightages to get your goal grade. And overall, this should help you gauge how much you really need to stress and worry about each class with regards to what you need to average to get your goal grade. Personally, this helps me because when I'm going into a semester, I usually have a lot of energy, like, okay, I'm gonna get all this work done, I'm gonna be on top of my game, working, and I end up doing well, getting good grades. And then towards the middle of the semester, end of the semester, it's kind of like a downward spiral, you know? Just not as much work, not as much motivation. I mean, I'm sure y'all can relate. And the nice thing about calculating and keeping track of your grades through this is you're able to see, okay, I worked really hard at the beginning of the semester. Now that I don't have as much motivation, I don't really want to try as hard, I don't really have to work as hard. I mean, I only have to average an 80 for the rest of the semester to make out with an A, which is really awesome to think about. Really quick, if you guys are enjoying this video, finding value, be sure to hit the like button and comment down below which one of these tips do you find the most valuable and applicable to your life. Okay, so now for the fourth tip, eliminate distractions. When you actually go to sit down and study, eliminate all the distractions.
Literally throw away your phone. Dig a hole in your backyard, put your phone in there, and conceal it there, keep it there until you're done studying.
Because every time you get a notification, it distracts you. It throws you off from your game. Because what ends up happening is like, okay, I'm gonna be studying world history for the next 3 hours. You get your textbook, you have your phone right here. And then what ends up happening,
you get one notification, a message from your friend. You check it
over, look back, check it over, look back. And then 3 hours later, you're still on the same page.
You haven't done anything. So, no distractions. But there's an exception to this. The only distraction in the whole world that you're allowed to have while you're studying is this YouTube video. So keep on watching. Also, a quick note, when you're trying to study with your friends, the only way that you can make this super effective is if everyone knows the material to a certain extent. If you're in a group call or in a study session with your friends, this shouldn't be a time where one person teaches another person everything that happened in the unit. Rather, this should be a time where you all revise together. So, kind of going back to my original tip about organization, this should really happen after your first solo study session where you study all the material in depth. If you have any clarifying doubts or questions, that's what you bring up in a group session, in a group study session together. Because studying together at that point would just be revising and solidifying the knowledge that you need for the exam. So make sure to study before your study sessions. Well, that's about all I have for this video. I really hope that it was beneficial and helpful for anyone who's trying to study for an exam right now. And lastly, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit the like button and comment down below what you guys want to see in future videos. And if you want to see more content, be sure to subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video.